Hello there, and welcome to Through Imperial Eyes. My name is Braydon Leadbetter. I'm your host.
Puto puto solo, and I'm your co-host, Jackson Daleen.
Jackson, how are you?
I'm tired. I worked a lot.
You know what's weird? It is 420, but it is snowing outside.
It's a weird day. A lot's happened today.
Weird day, man.
Yeah, a lot's happened.
Well, what have you been up to this past week? What's going on?
Not a lot. I'm inching my way through Family at War. I think I'm almost done with Anakin's part.
Okay.
Which I'm really enjoying so far.
Yeah.
I love how it's written. It flows really, really well. And I like how it kind of re-explains, like, I say this more mainly because I read it today about like the Clone Wars. Like there's obvious parts where I'm like, oh, I remember this from Clone Wars, like this arc and whatnot. And
like that's a weird recap of a Clone Wars episode.
I like the re-explanation of it all and kind of what are the lessons that was learned, at least through Anakin's side and like just Skywalker wise. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Cool. Trying to think, what else have I done? Not really. I'm kind of on the hunt of starting a Black Series collection.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just see if I might just buy some online and just to get like the ones that I want before I just start.
Every time I go to Target and look, I always go just to look and see, maybe we'll have something that I kind of want. And every time I go, all they have is a Grief Karga and a Quill or a Jar Jar, but that's it.
I'm going to buy a Grief Karga. I'm going to buy a Grief Karga and like a Rambo toy and remake Predator.
Nice. There you go. This is weird of me, but I've actually been playing some Jedi Fallen Order again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm playing the new game plus.
I was going to say, are you doing normal or?
Yeah. I keep forgetting how hard it was. I need to stop telling myself I'm good at video games because I was like, you know what? Screw it. I beat it once. Let's play on Jedi Master. Nah.
Do you have a HUD with New Game Plus, or is it just literally like your leveled up character replaying the campaign?
I think it's just your leveled up character. I don't know. I don't even know what a HUD is.
I didn't know if it was like if it was just like a harder, because I know there's the different difficulties, but I didn't know if the New Game Plus was like because sometimes like God of War, it's New Game Plus, like it's got like it takes away like your health like bar and like kind of like the that. Basic like, okay, yeah, see it makes it more of like you've leveled your character up and you have all of your strengths, but we've also upped the difficulty like to play this.
Yeah, no. So basically, sorry, that was my phone. Basically, when you start the New Game Plus, it says that on this version of the game, I think you have more opportunities to find different items and things, and you run into a couple different characters that you won't run into in the original.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't know. I've never played that, but I've been playing that on PS4, and I've also been playing Spider-Man on PS4. I'm in like the DLCs of Spider-Man right now.
Yeah.
But
those DLCs are fun too. Just talking about Spider-Man for that split second.
Yeah. But I have a very important announcement for all of our listeners. I have completed Clone Wars 100%. I have seen every episode of Clone Wars.
You can say, "He did it!"
Yeah, we're gonna add in some cheers in the background.
Yeah.
It has only taken. I think when's the first time I first attempted to watch Clone Wars? I think it was like 2014 when season 6 came out. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna watch the entire series.
Like, yeah, I can do this.
Got 3 episodes in, and I hated it.
Really?
This was high school.
Yeah,
this was high school.
Yeah.
Right? This was. Oh yeah, the prequels suck because the internet told me the prequels suck. Yeah, it was like that era for me. But I finally got it done. I still am adamant on the fact that it did not need to be as many seasons and episodes as it is. I know a lot of people will disagree. That's cool. That's fine. But I think that it should have done what Rebels did, where it's like you get 4 solid, great seasons of just awesome story. I think Clone Wars, at first, it kind of just wanted to be this excuse to make more Star Wars. And, they thought they had all this room to
just kind of a dumb anthology they could throw in. That's it's in between those two movies. Just throw in some
side adventures, and that's kind of what George's idea was there. And then like people, it gained like this cult following, and people wanted it to really tie in.
Then they realized they had to make it canon and like
but I think
have
like
it make sense.
I think there's at least like a season and a half to 2 seasons worth of episodes that you just like, it's not essential viewing.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think that's what like the chronological order doesn't do this completely, but that's kind of its intention.
I watched it in the chronological order. Yeah.
Did you watch it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Cause I know there's tons of different watches of just how to view it and all that.
Yeah. I think whenever we were doing our cantina for Revenge of the Sith, our guest Braydon said that he was watching it in like a sort of machete order, but like Clone Wars. I'm not really sure what order that is, but yeah.
I'll just try and find it, yeah.
And then the other day I was like, you know what, I want to start Rebels again. So I started the Spark of Rebellion kind of beginning of Rebels.
Classic. I'm always in, whenever I want to watch Rebels, I'm in like, it's the final 4 or 5 episodes, the last arc of that series.
Where everything kind of comes to a head.
Like, I would say like death of Kanan all the way to like that siege of Lothal and just turning on Thrawn and all that. That I just loved how that show ended.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can do some Cantina episodes on some fun Clone Wars and Rebels arcs and that kind of thing. But before we get into the news, I just wanted to let you guys know, in case you don't know, that we do have a series on this podcast feed called Imperial Cantina, where we sit down with a guest every week and we go through the Star Wars movies in release order, one movie at a time. This past week we just finished up the Rogue One review, and this weekend, it's coming. The Last Jedi Cantina episode. It is going to be such a fun, great discussion, and I'm excited to hear everybody's deep dives and thoughts and interpretations of that movie, because that's my favorite Star Wars movie as of right now. So if you want to play some catch up and you want to get the rest of the Cantina episodes listened to before that one, now's the time. So I know we have a little bit of news this week, so let's kind of dive in there. Jackson, what's our first news story for the week?
So the fitting that we were just talking about all of the animation. This is about the Bad Batch, which is 15 days from today.
Yeah, today's Tuesday.
It will be coming here pretty close. This released with the new trailer that came out, didn't it?
I think this just came out last week, I believe.
I couldn't remember
know if it came out with the trailer. I think it came out the week after.
It was like that set amount of time. Yeah, there was a little bit afterward. But yeah, all right. So anyway, they released a new Bad Batch poster. It's the official Bad Batch poster that will be used. The poster includes literally everybody of importance. It's pretty cool, actually. It's a very orange and black color scheme, which I really like. The poster features our named heroes, the Bad Batch, and kind of all of their thing. And front and center, we have Omega, the new character that's supposed to be the female child. We speculate this is probably going to be I think it's the last clone.
I think
Omega.
She's got to be some kind of clone mutant thing.
Yeah, I think it's all. That's kind of be the overall plot is it's about the end of the clone era, production line.
Because we do kind of know she comes from Kamino, and we see that in the trailer. I'm just interested to see how they will work this character in, and where they will go with Omega, because it's so interesting. If she is this mutant clone, could there be others out there? Is there
what does that mean for the evolution and continuation of just
and the most important question,
specific clones?
Most important question: are there clones of Dexter Jetster out there? We don't know.
He's got one. Yeah. He just keeps them.
Keeps them in a bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, the poster's really cool. I think it looks kind of crisp, which I think is their whole thing. I follow some of the lead animators and designers of the show on Twitter, and a lot of them have said that this show should be watched on an HDR 4K TV.
They're like, go out and buy your 4K TV right now before you watch Bad Batch.
Because we put every little bit of light and dark in it, and I think this poster also really encapsulates that really well.
Yeah.
Just kind of this weird like light and dark to where everything's kind of vibrant and pops, but it's still gray, if that's kind of the vibe. That's the meaning of what I'm getting
the gray
at.
Scale. Yeah. And I think it does a really good job at establishing, along with the trailers and other promotional stuff, the tone of the show that we're going to get. And especially with, I love how they brought back like the looming Palpatine in the background.
Yeah.
I love that aspect on the poster. We're definitely going to see some Palps in this show.
We're definitely going to see some Palps in this. Do you think we'll see any Vader in this show?
I think they'll, if he's not like a prominent thing, I think they'll just, show him in a shot in passing or something.
They may cameo him or something.
Yeah, kind of like we thought they were going to do with Rebels, and then we realized that he's like a prominent character in Rebels. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Having finished Clone Wars, I'm much more excited for Bad Batch than I was a month ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's actually discuss that. What are your thoughts on the Bad Batch arc in season 7?
I was expecting more. I'm not gonna lie, just because it's so hyped. But I did like it. I like how they're able to create these different character archetypes with each of the members of the Bad Batch. It was just interesting how I was expecting them to almost be kind of like bad guys, like foils to the clones.
So it's funny you say that. I've been listening and watching just kind of, I guess, I saw what I'm about to say is I saw from a TikTok that was a theory, but I think that Crosshair, which is going to be a bad guy in this new Bad Batch series. Yeah. Because all of the trailer footage, the shots of them post Camino, Crosshair isn't with them at all. Huh. Which leads me is that he's going to be like the series like villain. Is that like there's the overarching like Palpatine and Vader and the Empire, but like that's too big of a villain, So it's just like I think Crosshair will be kind of like the direct villain of at least of the season.
Yeah, like I said, the arc was unexpected for me. I didn't expect it to happen because I didn't realize that the arc happened introducing us to season 7. It wasn't. I was expecting to kind of build up to it, but I also like how they incorporate the Jedi in the beginning too, with we get Anakin and he's like sneaking off having little hollow meetings with Padme,
right?
And, Obi-Wan basically knows that him and Padme are together, and
Rex is helping Anakin cover it up.
Yeah, it really solidifies the relationship between Anakin and those main players' clones. So I think the Bad Batch arc, it's not my favorite arc of the season, obviously, or even the Clone Wars, but I think it's just a fun watch.
I agree. There's some fun little there were like deleted scenes and all the not fully animated scenes that they have, and there was one with the Bad Batch from the original like series like season planned before they got hitched from Cartoon Network. And it's a scene where it's Anakin and Rex going with the Bad Batch, and on their ship they have a big decal of Padme, and it's nice. Like Padme like a motorcycle like poster ad. She's like posing, and he's like, Anakin's like, what is that? And Rex is like, oh, and the Bad Batch is like, oh, we're a big fan of Senator Amidala. We love her, and Anakin's like, they're taking that down right now, and Rex is like, well, do you want to tell them why? Like, so yeah,
that's another reason why I kind of hope we get Rex in the Kenobi show too.
Yeah, right. I am curious to see how big of a role he will be in Bad Batch too.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting just all around to see. On the surface, we expect Bad Batch to be just about the Bad Batch, but what kind of characters they'll weave in, where they'll go, any kind of surprises like that'll be fun.
Is it going to pull a Rebels where it'll finish other characters' arcs from different series? You know,
who knows? We don't know. So that'll be interesting to find out. Very cool poster. We can kind of move on here. This next story won't take very long because it's not very much. But they are saying that there will be a special retail edition of the Vader Immortal VR video game coming this spring. Which I don't know if you've played it or seen gameplay of it.
I've seen gameplay of it.
It's very intense. I haven't played it, but I've seen gameplay, and it is very intense. And apparently, 2 years ago, this past week, that was like the first introduction of Vader Immortal at Star Wars Celebration Chicago in 2019. So the official Twitter account for ILM LAB revealed that they are partnering with Perp Games to release a special retail edition of the game for PlayStation VR. And I don't have PlayStation VR, but I do want it. And the new edition of Vader Immortal will include all 3 episodes of the VR series, a digital art book, postcards, and more. So it looks like you get a bunch of different goodies when you buy the retail version as well.
Honestly, I'll buy a PlayStation VR just to get it, you know?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, do you know how much the PlayStation VR goes for?
They are around 200, I think. But between, I would say 150, 250 max.
Yeah, as long as it's affordable, I think that's not something that I that would be out of the ballpark for me, because I've always wanted to play the Vader Immortal.
Yeah. I bet you that art book is going to be really cool. Yeah. Just kind of the different,
I'm sure
the different art styles.
I'm sure we'll get some concept art for it and, you know, some other potential goodies, because it says postcards and more. So who knows? We get a real lightsaber in there.
It's a Vader helmet. It's a Vader hand. It's
you actually get Darth Vader himself. James Earl Jones comes stock.
he's like, wow, it was cramped in there.
But yeah, one thing I did kind of want to bounce off you is, so we have this Vader Immortal VR game. If you had, and we also have Rogue Squadron. It's not Rogue Squadron. There's the Squadrons.
Just Squadrons.
That's what it is. Yeah, that is a VR game as well. If you had to come up with another Star Wars VR game, what would it be?
Dude, honestly, VR remaster of Star Wars Pod Racing.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
That would be fun. See, because like Squadrons holds like, I'm thinking ships, like that makes the most sense of a Star Wars VR game to me.
Yeah.
I would say, if anything, something that has VR for all of the eras, kind of like a Battlefront 2, but it's like I could be in a clone ship.
Give me Lego Star Wars VR.
Dude, that sounds fun. That sounds wild.
Yeah.
Like big minifigures next to you. I don't know how I feel about that. That'd be terrifying.
Don't play that game sober.
You're gonna wake up like in the middle of the night and it's gonna be a Lego head. Hey.
The big Jar Jar Lego head. Yeah.
Oh no. That's horrible.
I think that if I had to make a Star Wars VR game, I think what would be fun to me is it's always been, you know, lightsabers and lightsaber duels, which we do get a lot of that in Vader Immortal. But I think it would be cool, like a Jedi Academy kind of, you know, you start out as a Padawan, you get trained up, and then you have to like do the trials and all that kind of fun stuff. And then you go out on a mission, you get like assigned a master, and that would be really cool. Like you get the full Jedi experience.
They had something like that that was like a DVD game, and you would put like, it came with the, like a little like it wasn't even a full lightsaber. It was the handle and like 1/3 of the blade, and then the handle had like a hole in it that you could put your DVD remote in. And it was the old like 2007 DVD games where they were really clunky and you had like press like the buttons to do it. But it was a Jedi Academy like that.
Yeah, give me a VR version of that.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that. So
cool. What's next?
So Katee Sackhoff, who plays Bo-Katan in literally every single iteration that we have seen Bo-Katan, she appeared on on Star Wars Explained for their special event that they did for the AMFAR to promote National Youth HIV and AIDS. And Katee Sackhoff joined to essentially, help raise some funds, did a little interview and talk and hung out. In it, she explains this story about what was essentially her, I guess, POV of when they filmed the Luke scene in The Mandalorian. And in it, she actually confesses and admits that Jon Favreau and essentially the production team told Katee and the rest of them that it was going to be not Luke Skywalker going to save Grogu and their group, but Plo Koon. Good old classic Plo coming in to save the day. Which I think that's really funny. I like that. Especially like Jon Favreau went through a lot of great lengths to make sure like nobody knew that Luke Skywalker was going to show up. But
imagine the reveal that Plo Koon is still alive if that actually happened.
I know. I was like, that's kind of just as cool. Like Plo Koon shows up.
Because I read that and I was like, you know what? I think I would be just as excited to see Plo Koon as I did Luke Skywalker.
That'd be kind of cool to have like a post 66 Plo Koon. He survives the crash, and like you could like make that in legend where like Plo has the yellow lightsaber because he's gone through like a bunch of different colors. But yeah, I think that's funny that like especially like what obscure Jedi can we tell the cast that they'll all kind of know what we're talking about. And no, I love the good Plo's bros. I'm a big Commander Wolf fan, actually.
Oh yeah. One thing that I'm surprised is that the Luke Skywalker cameo didn't get leaked at all. Like there was a lot of stuff from this season that we knew Ahsoka was coming. We knew Bo-Katan was coming. We knew
Boba Fett was coming. We knew
Boba Fett was coming, and we knew Cobb Vanth was coming. We knew all of that. So going into season 2, I was like, man, this will be fun to see, but I'm not going to have any like epic surprise moments, and it's just going to be like, yeah, that was cool to see.
We kind of knew everything,
and the finale came, and I was like, what can we do here?
Trick.
Well, because they really built up to it with the whole, they're always talking about if they go to this rock, a Jedi will come and listen to Grogu's call. And we were like, okay, what Jedi is that going to be? Are we going to see Luke? Are we going to see are we going to see Mace Windu? Remember the Mace Windu theory that was going around for a while? Who would
understand what Grogu did in order to respond to it.
And a lot of people were saying Cal Kestis and all those, a bunch of wild theories.
The main three, were Cal, Ezra, and Mace Windu.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Ezra theory too.
A lot of people thought Ezra was Ezra, which, and I think I wonder eventually if they will kind of I guess have Ezra play some kind of role in the I guess the training of Grogu.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. But I wonder if it'll just be, Grogu's with Luke when he's starting up this new kind of Jedi Academy. And then we learn that Kylo just slaughters Grogu. Right. Well,
because obviously Grogu's going to be a baby for a little while longer. So I almost wonder if if the fall of Luke's school happens in the time, I guess, before, during season 3 of Mando, what will essentially become of Grogu then? Because they can't just kill him off like that.
Or if Kylo is like, yo, Grogu, you're cool. Don't come to Temple
You'd be like,
tomorrow.
You know what, man? You're cool. You'd be like, yeah, stay in your bunk tomorrow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, but it'll just be interesting. I love, having all of these different character cameos of what we know and love, and it'll definitely be cool to see, once the Ahsoka series comes around, which they are going to be filming this year, seeing who pops up in there. Like, will we get a Sabine? I think we have to get Sabine in the Ahsoka series, and then will we get Ezra? Will we get Thrawn? All of those animated players coming in will be super interesting to see. But Yeah, let's kind of move on here. So, Domhnall Gleeson, General Hux, during an interview, weighed in on General Hux's role in the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and whether or not he'd come back, or whether or not he'd be willing to come back. And here's what he said in the IndieWire interview. He said, "It would have been nice to stick around a little bit longer for sure. It would have been nice to see the spy thing play out a little bit. But JJ knows what he's doing, and I heard a kind of gasp in the cinema when it happened. So I guess he was right." The film is what the film is needed to be, I think. There's always stuff that you would like to see more of, but you can't have a 17-hour film, I've been told. Apparently, that's not allowed, so I was happy with what was there. So, you
can't have a 17-hour film, I'm just saying.
He's like, so I'm told. But,
yeah, right?
It's always interesting, you hear all these stories about how a lot of the, especially smaller media sources always want to talk about how all the Star Wars sequels actors hated the sequels and they hated being in them. And John Boyega hates the sequels, and Mark Hamill hates The Last Jedi, and all this kind of stuff. They really want the actors to, invalidate the Star Wars sequels, and Domhnall was just like, you know what, it was fun, and JJ was right, that was cool. And
so a big thing for actors too, a big thing I learned, especially, I was a BFA acting major for 3 years at Southeast Missouri State, and in it, a big thing that they kind of teach you when taking on roles, especially if you play the villain, is you can't judge yourself.
Yeah.
You can't view yourself as the villain, and you have to kind of, rationalize everything. And that goes the same for a director's choice in how your play, movie, whatever pans out. So I actually really commend Domhnall on this quote, because he's just kind of like, yeah, JJ had a plan. Like, dude, you could say anything about anything could go which way and what. And he's like, yeah, maybe I wanted to see some stuff, but everybody has a plan. It's like, why shit on that,
Yeah. And, I think we're in a time, especially right now, where a lot of people are looking to find things that invalidate the sequels. Yes. Because of just such a negative atmosphere around those movies. And it's always refreshing to hear an actor be like, yeah, I enjoyed that. It worked. And, he even said in a different interview on comicbook.com that he's always open to return to Hux if this story is right. So, that just goes to show that, he had fun playing Hux, and he is General Hux, and it'll be interesting to see, if at any point down the road, if, there is a story told in the era of the sequel trilogy, if we do get a little bit of Hux.
I'd be down to see Hux return, because I hope that they build more in the sequel era rather than just the movies and Resistance. It'd be cool to utilize Domhnall Gleeson and just kind of bringing Hux in to tell, make him like Tarkin's character will probably be in like Bad Batch, kind of just like the overarching like government villain.
Yeah.
So, well, cool. Moving on, Stellan Skarsgard talked about on why he accepted his upcoming role in the Andor series. Starting this out, I will tell you that we have no idea what Stellan Skarsgard will be playing, he will be playing, and what his importance will be in the Andor series. But speaking to the Daily Beast, Skarsgard had some very nice words about the tone of both Rogue One and the show. This is his quote: "As you know, they'll shoot me if I say anything. I can't even get a proper script. It's printed on red paper, so I can't make any copies of it. It's ridiculous." Which, come on. I think that's funny that he says that, especially being a part of the Marvel cinematic universe, and just kind of their lockdown. I
honestly think they're a little more, locked down with Star Wars than Marvel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also, Marvel kind of has a name for itself, especially with some of its actors accidentally spoiling or revealing some things.
And I think, with characters, with actors like Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo, I think they give them like phony scripts with the correct lines.
They do now.
Yeah. So,
anyway, continuing on with the quote, Stellan says, "But when I saw Rogue One, it had much more atmosphere and seemed a little more mature, and that was Tony Gilroy, who's the showrunner for the Andor series. So hopefully this one will be a little more than little plastic people falling over." I do like Stellan Skarsgård a lot.
Yeah, he's
and
great.
I think from this, what we can kind of take is that it's like what I said in the Imperial Cantina we just had about Rogue One, which if you haven't listened to it, listen to it now. It's a fun talk. We had a good time. I think the Andor series is literally going to be like that one scene in Rogue One when we first meet Cassian and just kind of the weird grittiness of his job, and it'll just be that dialed up to 10. So, and if that catches Stellan Skarsgård's eye, that catches my eye too. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what kind of character he'll play. I'm kind of assuming, this is just a complete guess, that we might see him in more of like a role that kind of echoes his character in the MCU, kind of more
of
kind of
like a scientist,
like a scientisty kind of intelligent person.
Yeah.
Or we could see him in a little more of a villainous role. That would be cool.
You just said intelligent, and it actually popped in my head. What if he is the intelligence?
Yeah.
What if he's just like? Do you ever see the Bourne movies, like the Jason Bourne movies?
A long time ago.
The character Nikki, who ends up kind of becoming her own thing. She starts out as essentially like the middle communicator person that she's the one who talks to the agents about whatever CIA gave them. What if that's like Stellan's role?
Yeah.
Is that essentially he is Cassian's like man in the chair, who not as upfront with Cassian, but he's more like he gives Cassian like the intel and like whatever he needs to do a mission.
I don't know. I know next to nothing about what this Andor series will even be. And they didn't even show the little featurette. Yeah, they did. Never mind. They didn't show the Kenobi featurette on the shareholders meeting, but they did show the Andor featurette. There isn't really much given away other than that's kind of like, this action spy thriller show. And it's about Cassian Andor and like his trials in his earlier life. That's about all we got. So,
do you think it'll be like Bond, or do you think it'll be more like Bourne? Bond as in it's the man and his agency doing the agency's business, or it's the man kind of going on his own to figure out the problem that the agency is also doing it, but the agency is doing it on their own accords, meaning more the rebellion has things that they want to figure out, but Cassian is a man who can get results his own way, so he just kind of does it on his own.
I think it'll be more like that. I think it'll be more, Cassian's doing things for the rebellion, but in his mind, he's really doing it for himself.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, because I just think that's the kind of vibe that Cassian gives off, is that he is like this independent, I can do it myself, don't worry kind of guy.
He's like, my purpose is the job, but I'll do the job however I want.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said in Rogue One, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. So this isn't new stuff to him either. Like we need to see him, diving deep in these missions and, getting whatever done that needs to be done.
I worry though with this series is not the question of will it undermine, but will it make Cassian's arc in Rogue One a little redundant if they do some kind of similar arc with his character in this series? Because Cassian's entire arc in Rogue One is that he kind of understands, empathy and sympathy.
Yeah.
He lets himself be more human than he did while being a spy, and that's obviously what we're going to see in the Andor series. Is this kind of, you know, he kind of closes himself off to get his job done. Is what character arc is he going to go through in this show that will be different and not repeat what he went through in Rogue One?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It'll be a lot less, self-sacrificial feeling, I hope.
Yes.
And a little more fun in tone. I don't know about, it will be dark, but I just mean fun as in you obviously know he's not going to die. But like, he could get captured by somewhere. He could meet a character we already know or anything like that. So
I hope he meets K2SO in this. I hope the whole Alan Tudyk thing is kind of a lie and that it's going to be like a surprise.
I think that's kind of the route they're going for, but also, who knows? Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, right.
Anybody who's connected to this show has in their contract what they're allowed to say, and it could be in Alan Tudyk's contract. Don't reveal anything. Right. Don't reveal anything.
Well, I mean, too, like Alan Tudyk's in everything. Yeah. So, like, I'd be shocked to see that he wasn't doing something that he, that you would expect him to be in.
Or maybe that's how they kind of cap off the series is he finally meets K2SO, and that's kind of, the latter half of the series, or like even the ending of the series. But
that's actually kind of a cool idea to continue on, is that like the end of season 1, he meets K2SO, and then season 2, it's him and K2. Like, I wouldn't hate it. Why not?
I want to see what the show's going to be first before
that's very true and very fair, and I'm not saying they have to make that decision final, but start the show early enough that you can have a couple years of content, and by years I mean seasons. So I don't know, he's part of discovering the Death Star. You would say, how long would you say at this point I would skirmishes, how long would you say the Rebel skirmishes are been going on from when the rebellion finds out about the Death Star to when they began? That's like 4 years, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like around then. So yeah, I don't know. I think if anything, it'd be cool to kind of just, I bet you the show will capture Cassian's entire legacy with the rebellion.
Yeah, I would hope so, especially being such a beloved character from Rogue One. I'm sure we'll get into it. But moving on. So we got Phil Saunders again, one of the concept artists for The Rise of Skywalker, revealing some more designs that he did when working on the film, and it was revealed that originally they were eyeing JUDI Dench for a role that was eventually scrapped. So here is what he said when he posted the details about the idea. He said he posted this piece of concept art. You can find it online. It is very cool. But he says, another random shot from Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. In an earlier version of the script, Rey would have sought out the original designer of the Millennium Falcon to find a piece of hardware that could stop the First Order Armada. Dame JUDI Dench was on the wish list for the role and would have been great. Rey finds her on yet another desert planet, of course, and her home would have been carved into the top of a spectacular mesa. I was just tasked with adapting a piece of reference provided by the art department into an interesting interior. So already, I think that would have been awesome to meet.
That would have been awesome
to meet the original designer of the Millennium Falcon. I still think, I don't know why that would have been on a desert planet. I think it would have made more sense for it to be on Corellia or something like that, because there's a Corellian YT model freighter.
Yeah.
But again, I've always said that JUDI Dench has such a Star Wars aura about her, and she just is tailor-made for the Star Wars universe in my eyes. So, what do you kind of think about, the potential JUDI Dench role of the designer of the Millennium Falcon?
I love JUDI Dench, but I always think I cannot imagine this going without. I always think it's funny when like famous people just kind of show up in movies when they're just like, you're like, hey JUDI Dench. I was like that when Matt Damon shows up in Interstellar. You'd be like, is that Matt Damon?
Yeah. Or even worse, when he shows up in Thor Ragnarok.
He's coming back for Thor 4 too. He's reprising his role. I really liked the concept of like JUDI Dench being the like designer and all that, and having this piece that's essential against the I guess the first or final order. I think that would have been cool. That would have been a fun way to kind of have like a celebrity cameo while still giving like an interesting character. And I would have agreed. Why do it on a desert planet when you could have just gone to Corellia? But that sounds like to me that essentially the planet, I can't think of the name, but the planet they go to
Posana.
To find, where they find the dagger and the ship and all that. And
Posana. It
sounds like that was essentially, there was a bunch of different concepts of what they were going to do. I'm interested to see interested to know if there were other plans of what they wanted to do, JUDI Dench with this piece for Against the Resistance, this dagger that they went with, something from Colin Trevorrow's script of, something they needed to find.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, there's been so many different iterations of Episode 9. I mean, we've got the Colin Trevorrow Duel of the Fates thing, which, it's a fine script. And then, we have all the different, there's been apparently so many different versions of the JJ Rise of Skywalker Episode 9 that, it's interesting to see all of the different branches of possibilities we could have gotten with this movie.
Has JJ confirmed that there are longer cuts of Rise of Skywalker?
He has not confirmed that there is a J.J. Abrams cut. Like, there is no cut that he would have preferred. Like, that the movie we got is the J.J. Abrams cut.
Right.
But I'm sure
is there just a bunch of cutting room floor scenes?
I'm sure
I'm
sure that's why there is no deleted scenes for this movie. They have not released any deleted scenes.
I did not know that, actually.
There are 0 deleted scenes. So that is interesting, and I kind of wonder why.
I wonder if it's because of time crunch. Is that essentially they weren't able to film? They were only able to film what they filmed, if not a little here and there afterwards, but not enough to have a full deleted scene.
Yeah, or I wonder if, because I hear that the post-production process literally went up until like the week the movie actually released, the world premiere. Or did I say the week after? The week before the world premiere. So I wonder if it came down to they just had to pull a few scenes out of the cut because it just wasn't working, and they just didn't do anything with those, and they're all sitting on a drive somewhere at Lucasfilm. So who knows? It's just always interesting to speculate what could have been.
You trying to break into Skywalker Ranch fanboy style and try to find?
Oh my god! Can we have a Cantina episode for fanboys?
I totally would be down. Actually,
we're doing that.
That's a great idea. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Well, cool. What do we've got next? So this is just a rumor that we'll be discussing.
Rumor alert.
Rumor alert. Apparently, The Mandalorian season 3 could start filming here soon, and Wookiees in season 3. Ooh. That's just how I read it on my rundown. The rumor comes from a post by Bespin Bulletin on Instagram, and according to Bespin Bulletin, the train yard location in Los Angeles where the Book of Boba Fett was filming is now empty, besides some blue screens, which just are always there, and other background props, yada yada. This is where The Mandalorian films parts of its first 2 seasons, and presumably where parts of its third will be shot. Another rumor from their post is that a Wookiee could be appearing in the show, maybe even more than one. It's not confirmed if this is just going to be a character we know, if this is going to be a new character, or if it's just going to be a background character. If it's, Mando's in a crowd and you're like, there's Han and Chewie walking around.
How
like
cool
that'd be
would that kind of be, though? Like a little Easter egg. That kind of
reminds me of in Rogue One when Jin sees the 2 guys from A New Hope. And you just see Han and Chewie just strolling, like they could be arguing with each other as they're like walking through.
It also kind of reminds me of like how in Revenge of the Sith we see the Millennium Falcon in the background.
Pull in. Or
seeing Chopper in passing, all that kind of fun stuff. That would be cool to see.
All little fun stuff.
Even if it isn't Chewie, if it's just like a Wookiee of some kind. I would love to see a Wookiee join like the main players. That would be cool.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It's absurd. Not absurd. I say full theories. That'd be kind of cool if like Mando started building armies of different species who were all affected by the Empire in some shape or form. And that's what he uses to like help him do, I guess. I say save Mandalore. That's if Mandalore isn't destroyed.
No, I think Mandalore is now a Wookiee inhabited planet.
We're like, we got pushed from Kashyyyk and moved here. There's not a lot of trees, but it's kind of nice.
Yeah. But I think that the Wookiee should be a Burryaga from the High Republic, a 400-year-old Burryaga.
What's the Wookiee Padawan from the Clone Wars arc?
Oh, I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, though.
It could be him.
It's a wooden lightsaber,
Yeah, that's definitely just a full-on rumor. We'll see where that goes, if that'll advance or anything. I think when it comes to filming for Mando, I do not think that's actually probably true right now, just because I think their focus is everything else.
Because in the slate, I don't know if you know this, so someone who knows this is probably screaming into their device right now, but is Mando season 3 slated after Ahsoka?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think everything else is supposed to happen.
I know they delayed Mando season 3 because it was originally supposed to come out this coming fall. But then once they announced everything and then everything got kind of pushed back. So I don't know if they even announced where Mando season 3 lies on release slate.
Well, is Din Djarin supposed to be in the Book of Boba Fett?
I don't think it's confirmed.
I don't think it's confirmed. I wouldn't be surprised. It makes kind of sense to me. Which leads me to believe that Mando and Boba are going to do bounties together, and that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. The two Mandalorians that just hunt people down for money, like that's terrifying.
Yeah. Get Boba and Din, and like maybe bring in like a Bo-Katan.
Well, that'd be really cool too. Like, I think that they should really deeply like build Boba and Mando's relationship to where they kind of become the two front runners of Mando's new clan.
Yeah.
And he's going to build that with his people or whatever. But I think that'd be cool to see their bond strengthen through the Book of Boba Fett, and that it's Boba Fett's show, but it's going to be about him working with a team, and B, I guess, even then I would say he's doing better working with people. He's got Fennec Shand on his side. He's worked with Bossk and all them.
I wonder if we will see the death of Boba Fett again.
Do you think we'll like a full death? We'll
actually see a confirmed death from Boba Fett. I wonder if that's why they're bringing, because, Tem can only be Boba Fett for so long.
Do you think that he'll die in Book of Boba Fett, or do you think he'll die in Mando season 3?
I wonder. I do wonder that. I don't know. But I wonder if. First, I think they need to establish timelines. So, like, is Book of Boba Fett supposed to happen, right after the events of season 3 or season 2, or are we jumping way forward, or we don't know yet. So I think it comes down to that. So I don't know. I don't know if Boba Fett's even going to be involved in Mando season 3 because he's away on Jabba's palace. So we could see the death of Boba Fett in Book of Boba Fett. We just don't know at this point.
Causing havoc on Tatooine.
Yeah. Well, here's kind of our last main story here. So there are, speaking of from the beginning of the show, we were talking about Black Series figures. They just announced Star Wars: The Clone Wars Black Series figures. So as we all know, 2021 marks the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, and Disney appears to be going all out to celebrate the occasion. And we got all these new toys and Black Series and toys and all this kind of fun stuff. So it looks like we are getting we're getting Echo from the Clone Wars. We will be getting Kenobi, Anakin, and clone pilot Hawk. So it also looks like with these figures, they are using the facial features of the live action counterparts. So we're getting like a Hayden Christensen face and a Ewan McGregor face and a Tamir Morrison face, which I think is the way to go, because I don't know if I would want, I don't think it would look the same or have the same effect. It's
jarring seeing animated figures, animated characters as figures.
Yeah.
I know Hot Toys and Sideshow also do that, where their Sideshow's Captain Rex is Tamara Morrison's face. Same with their Commander Cody is it's Tem's face rather than the animated kind of style. Yeah, I loved the Anakin and Obi-Wan look. I think those are really cool, and the ARC Echo, the ARC Trooper Echo, rather than his like creepy, like tortured, mangled one hand.
That would have been weird.
Echo Hook, yeah. Did you see his? Well, I guess it's not really in the poster, but his like armor look for the Bad Batch, his new like Bad Batch armor Echo has.
I don't think so.
He's got like a really cool. His helmet looks like the helmet that Mando and Bill Burr wear in the season 2 episode.
Okay, yeah.
It kind of looks like that. It's got a little more like detailing to it. It's got like the 99 up top, but it's got like the thin visor, but like the long kind of face to it. And then like he's got armoring up until like the hook, the like hand, and the hand looks like it's got like a droid plug, but then like on his wrist it looks like it's a blade that like switches.
Oh, nice.
Like the piece switches. So yeah, I think that'll be kind of cool.
And I'm sure, those will be, as soon as those are put on the shelf at Target, they will be all bought up.
I wanted to ask you, why Pilot Hawk?
I don't know.
So I did very half-assed research on just maybe something and just to see if I could speculate. I don't think Hawk has any of importance to it, but every episode that Hawk has been involved with is a very important episode for clones and commanders.
Yeah.
His first couple episodes are the Battle of Christophsis, where the Clone Wars movie takes place. Right, yeah. But his last arc is the Umbara arc with him and Rex and Pong Krell, that whole thing.
I low-key love that arc.
That's one of the best arcs of Clone Wars, arguably, I would say. I completely agree. So I almost wonder if, I don't think seriously like they did this like as a whole thing, but like me just having fun speculating, I think it'll be kind of cool. Probably seeing some important clone stuff. I wonder if we'll see if other clones have survived. I say survived, but I want to see what all of the clones are kind of doing rather than just like the important ones that we have. I want to know what kind of the mass is doing, because like in Rebels, Rex kind of talks about, he's like, yeah, they kind of used us and then they just kind of gave up on us. And I think that's what Bad Batch will depict is how the Empire transitioned from stealing people to make soldiers rather than growing people to make soldiers.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be easier to grow people to make soldiers though than having to
absolutely,
steal babies? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think that's funny too, how like in the, especially in like The Force Awakens, there's that part where Kylo and Hux are kind of arguing.
Yeah.
And Kylo mentions, he's like, oh, maybe Snoke should have used a clone army. And Hux is like, no, my men are efficient. They can do the job. I don't need a clone.
It's like, but yeah, so are the clones.
Yeah, I was like, what the clones do? Like, the clones were really efficient.
Yeah,
they helped take down the Jedi Order.
Literally bred to be a trooper for the
Killers
Republic.
And yeah.
So, but I think a dream Clone Wars action figure Black Series would be Ahsoka from season 7 Black Series.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That would be really cool. Do they have any Ahsokas? I would assume so.
I don't know if they actually have any Ahsoka Black Series.
I'm looking it up right now.
Do you have any other kind of Dream Black Series figures that probably don't exist?
I want season 2 Boba Fett, Mando season 2 Boba Fett's look.
Okay.
His like re-armored. I think that'd be a really cool Black Series.
Okay, so they do have an Ahsoka Black Series. I think it is from Mando though?
Well,
no, it's from Rebels. It is the Rebels
I'm
Black
also
Series.
seeing a season 7 one.
This
is her blue lightsabers and
oh yep, there it is. Yep, they did make it.
And then there's the Rebels one too.
When did that release? Because I don't remember ever. Okay, but yeah, it doesn't have. So it is in the animation style of Clone Wars, though. It'd be interesting.
Season 7.
Yeah, the season 7.
Oh yeah.
It would be interesting to see, how would they interpret her as live action from that era.
Well, so I wonder if they're actually waiting on that, because I think a young Ahsoka is supposed to be in the Kenobi series.
Yeah.
Through flashbacks, and I wonder if they will wait until that releases and then do an Ahsoka like overhaul where you do every iteration of Ahsoka, but you match it with whoever their live action person is. So all of the younger Ahsoka is, I can't remember who was cast and who was speculated to possibly be Ahsoka. We kind of talked to, hold on, I'm looking it up. It may be Moses Ingram. She might be playing Ahsoka.
Is that? That's not confirmed, but I think that would be interesting. But kind of back to what you were saying earlier with the flashback thing, I really hope that the Kenobi show doesn't rely too much on showing us flashbacks every 5 seconds.
I
think that would take me out of the motion and the energy of the show, because I don't want it to just be like a oh my gosh, I wish it was still the Clone Wars kind of thing.
I think that's what a lot of people kind of want from this, and I think that is definitely content I want to see. But I agree, I don't want that to be the focus of the show.
Give me one good flashback, maybe a 2-minute little flashback with some montages and cool stuff, and that's all I need.
Put it all in an episode. Have the whole episode just be about like,
I don't know about Obi-Wan an episode, but that would be. I want to see it at least.
I agree. I definitely want to see it.
But yeah.
I don't know. But like with the Ahsoka stuff, I think that'd be cool if they did like the rehaul with like live action. Like you did like the Rosario Dawson from like.
I think, do they have Rebels, a Black Series Mando season 2 Ahsoka figure?
I don't
think
know.
so.
Oh, you know what? Let's talk about this now. Hot Toys announced their new deluxe Ahsoka Tano from the Mando season 2.
That's right.
And it is very cool. It's very detailed. Obviously, it's Hot Toys with their figures and their collectibles and whatnot.
Let's talk about Yaddle.
Yaddle. We might be getting a Yaddle Black Series. Not confirmed. It's a rumor, but we might be getting it. I'm just saying, if that happens, I'm pre-ordering 2 for the both of us.
Yeah, we're gonna have from when and if it does ever happen, Yaddle will be right here on my shelf for the rest of time. I'm gonna
buy you a little like grill toy, or no, I'm gonna buy you a dishwasher.
That's right,
a dishwasher.
Dude, give me that Dexter Jetster Black Series, man.
Give me that all it's gonna be killer.
Give me that all day.
Give me Dexter's Diner's like full playable set.
Yes, please. But well, I think this portion of the show kind of encapsulated our lack of knowledge for the Star Wars toy community because we're like, wait, is there a Black Series for this? I don't know. Is it
like, I don't know. Yeah. Figure it out.
But I think that's about it for this week. I hope you guys had a fun time listening to these news stories, and I hope we get some more juicy news next week. And also, please make sure to tune in every single Thursday. We do have these news episodes every Thursday. But if you'd like to find us on our social medias, you can find us on Instagram at Through Imperial Eyes Pod, Twitter at Imperial Eyes Pod, and YouTube. You can just search up Through Imperial Eyes Podcast. We will come up. Jackson, where can they find you?
You can find me in Twitter at Quacks and Scalene.
Inside of Twitter.
Inside of the Twitter. That's QUACKSON_Scalene, like the triangle. And then you can follow me on Instagram at my photography Instagram, which I also just haven't been posting on for a minute. I work a lot and I'm depressed. But that's at Daleen_photography, and Daleen spelled DALEEN _photography. Braydon, what about you? What about your socials?
You guys know where to find me. You can find me on Instagram at braydonleadbetter and Twitter at Braydathlon. And please, I say this every week, and I'm going to keep saying it until this show is no longer available. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Leave that review, that rating on our Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to our Spotify. Literally anything helps. Just listen to one of our episodes once a week. That's all you got to do. Or just play it in the background and don't even listen. That's all you got to do. It really, really helps out the show when you listen to it. So, and stay tuned for this weekend's The Last Jedi episode for Imperial Cantina. That'll be a lot of fun. My favorite Star Wars movie,
Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Here we go.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll be getting deep and sweaty and nerdy about that one. And then, as always...
Ew.
Yeah, like that?
No.
And then, as always, next week we'll be back with some more news right here on our main show. But until then, may the Force be with you.